Imagine a world where everyone is living in virtual reality. The streets are empty and no one leaves their house. With the virtual world being the one that people accept as their real world, nothing seems to matter in base reality. Why go back to reality when life in the real world is mostly suffering, especially when they can be a god in the virtual one? Is this something that could happen in the future? If so, how and why? Well, these are huge questions to tackle, as most predictions of the future tend to be wrong to some degree. But knowing what we know today, we can come to some interesting conclusions. In the movie Ready Player One, there seems to be two different worlds. One which is the virtual world, and the other which is real life. Living in real life seems extremely dull. Society has collapsed, in which a cyberpunky dystopia remains. Most people escape from this world and live in what is called the Oasis. Now, the Oasis is absolutely amazing. You are able to do anything you could ever imagine while at the comfort of your home. This definitely had a role in the deterioration of that society. Since more and more people decided to live in the virtual world, the world as they knew it slowly degraded to what it was like in the movie. Now it's interesting because even though the Oasis is amazing, it isn't necessarily fully immersive. You still have to move around in real life to move your avatar, and all of the user's senses are not fully integrated. Something that is fully immersive would definitely be more attractive to everyone, further diving the population into the virtual world. Even though Ready Player One is a movie, it is an interesting idea of how people will use escapism to not have to deal with the problems of the real world. Again, why live in the real world when the virtual one is much better? A decent example of this right now is phones. They show that people get absorbed by technology with ease. Consumers spend countless hours being attached to their phone, and on average, people spend around 3.7 hours a day on their phone. With younger generations, that number is increasing. This shows that people love technology and are willing to spend a high percentage of their day devoted to it. Hardcore gamers can attest to that, with most of their time devoted to the thing that they love. Full-dive VR will for sure be more consuming than just a phone or any video game that we know nowadays. It will have a much greater effect, especially if it's just like reality but better. Even the VR we know right now is addicting. People spend countless hours in games like VR Chat, conversing with people from all around the world. Some people would even prefer to meet up with their friends and spend their time in the virtual world, instead of meeting up with them in the real world. As technology increases, we'll probably see an increase in these virtual experiences in place of real-life experiences, especially when something like full-dive comes out. Although, even if everyone decides to live in the virtual world, it leaves us with many things that need to be upkept in the real world. People need to eat, use the restroom, exercise, and also the electricity needs to be kept on, and much more than just that. If all of society were living in the virtual world or some type of simulation, there would need to be vast amounts of automation. In order to achieve this automation, there would need to be some sort of AI or higher power that is in control of everything while people are living in VR. It would probably look like something out of the movie The Matrix. We are probably far off from something like that happening, but it isn't out of the equation. If we do achieve full-dive VR at some point, and it really is indistinguishable from reality, that would pose the question. Since we know it is possible to create a fully immersive virtual world, are we already living in a virtually simulated world? That would mean it is possible we are living in many generations of simulations, each simulation creating its own variant. Although interesting, it is a question that is impossible to answer with what we know today. As technology keeps getting better, full-dive will be released at some point in human history. And when it does, most of society will follow suit, most likely leading us to a dystopian world similar to Ready Player One. When society reaches that point, there is a high chance that over time, more and more people will slowly abandon their real life for the virtual one. Why not make all of your dreams become a reality? I mean, virtual reality. But at the same time, reality is just what you experience, or what exists. So does it really matter if it's virtual if you fully experience it? I want to know from you guys. What do you think society will be like when we achieve full-dive VR? Are you okay with all of society living in the virtual world? I do read all the comments and this video is mostly speculative, so it'd be nice to see what you guys think. As always, thanks for watching.